Welcome back. This Sunday, it will be 57 years since the world lost its rebel without a cause.
James Dean died after driving through Kern County September 30th, 1955. While it's a date his fans will always remember, it's also an important date for a local man who all of those years ago didn't know he had had a brush with fame. 17's Rochelle Murcia joins us now with that man's story. Rochelle?
Well, Jim, about 3 hours before the crash that killed James Dean, a local CHP officer named Odie Hunter stopped the movie star for speeding. But he had no idea the man he stopped was a star or that he'd be one of the last to see Dean alive.
Just south of Kern County, in the town of Shalom, there's a tribute to movie star James Dean. His life ended just a mile up this road, September 30th, 1955. And on that day, Odie Hunter was on duty for the California Highway Patrol.
I was working 2 to 10 shift, south Bakersfield. I worked from, I think at that time, from Greenfield to the county line up at Lebec. And that's where I ran into Mr. Dean that day.
They called him One Speed Dean. One speed, wide open.
A documentary made soon after Dean's death shows the legend's love for speed started early.
And Jimmy used to go over there and run around this track.
At age 15, Dean began racing motorcycles in Indiana.
Stand by. Action.
As he quickly became a Hollywood icon, his racing kept up with his fast-paced fame, purchasing and racing sports cars.
Well, I showed pretty good at Palm Springs. I ran at Bakersfield.
People say racing is dangerous, but I'll take my chances on the track any day than on a highway.
That takes us to September 30th, 1955. Dean and his racing crew were leaving Hollywood for a race.
He was telling me about it. He's going up to, I don't recall the name of the town. I think it was in Bakersfield or somewhere up in that way, for this race.
The race was to be in Salinas, but Dean in his Porsche 550 Spyder and his friend driving a truck pulling the race car's trailer had to pass through Bakersfield and just happened to speed by Officer Odie Hunter.
He was running around 70 miles an hour, and so was the truck behind him. At that time, the vehicle speed was 55 and 45 for a vehicle totaled in another vehicle. We heard from stories his intent was to get the car here, take it out to Riverside Raceway, and run a few laps around the track out there to loosen it up a little bit. But he never had time to do it because they said the car was late getting in.
Instead, Dean chose to loosen up his car on Kern County's roads, making it to Mettler Station on Wheeler Ridge when Officer Hunter spotted him.
A policeman stopped him once for speeding.
Officer Hunter's traffic stop is marked in the documentary done after Dean's death. Hunter vividly remembers it, but back then, he had no idea he was about to ticket a movie star.
I told him that he shouldn't be running that fast, and he agreed that he was running fast. He told me why, that he was trying to break his car in a little bit, so the next day when he run it at Monterey, it'd be loose up a little bit. I told him he shouldn't be doing that. I said that's a good way to get killed or wrenching something like that. And he said, okay, he'd slow it down a little bit.
Hunter still has this copy of the ticket he wrote Dean. Hunter's name is here, and Dean's full name is above. The car was registered to Warner Brothers, but it still didn't register to Hunter. He just ticketed the James Dean. And no one knew the Hollywood star had only hours to live. We drove the rest of Dean's last ride over the Grapevine and close to what was then Route 166, then to Blackwell's Corner, where Dean and his friends stopped for coffee. It was the star's last stop. Today, it's known for that, with his image, like the man, larger than life. Dean sped on, west on Route 466 to Paso Robles, heading towards the intersection of Route 41, when Cal Poly student Donald Turnipseed turned in Dean's path, just about 3 hours after Hunter issued his speeding ticket.
And one of the guys said, hey, did you hear about James Dean today? And I said, what? James Dean got killed. And I said, who's James Dean? And then it suddenly dawned on me. He said, well, he's a movie actor. Well, so I pulled my tickets out, and sure enough, it was the same James Dean that he was talking about.
The ticket with what is likely the last time Dean signed his name. The ticket Officer Odie Hunter had hoped would have caused the cultural icon to lay off the gas. The ticket, now a piece of Hollywood history, written here in Kern County.
Do you have any special advice for the young people who drive?
Take it easy driving. Life you might save might be mine.
You heard Hunter say he caught Dean going 70 miles an hour. Well, he only wrote that ticket for 65 miles an hour. And if Dean were alive today, he'd be 81 years old. I'm Rochelle Murcia, 17 News.
Takes you
Incredible
back.
story. Yeah, it sure does. Wow.
Unbelievable story.